Art by Inked Playmats at inkedplaymats.com, your place for custom-made playmats. Design your own or shop from other featured designers. Use promo code KlotzDeal to save 10% on your order. Inked Playmats, your game, your style. To do on their website, and come join us for a fun, friendly F&M environment. From KlotzProductions, and welcome back to Game 3 of the match between 4-Color Control and Selesnya Aggro. Bobby started on the play for this game with a Blood Crypt, and then Jean laid down a Temple Garden. Bobby then put an Overgrown Tomb into play, then Jean played a Plains and resolved a Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Bobby laid down a Hinterland Harbor, which came into play untapped. He then used a Pillar of Flame to kill the Thalia. Jean then followed it up by playing a Loxodon Smiter. Bobby killed the Smiter with a Dreadbore, however Jean just had a second one that he played. Bobby then laid down another Blood Crypt, but paid 2 life for it this time, so it would come into play untapped. He then played a Tamiyo the Moon Sage and tapped down the Smiter. Jean just laid down a land on his next turn, and then Bobby continued to keep the Smiter tapped down with his Tamiyo. He then played a Thragtusk, gaining him 5 life, going back up to 23. At the end of Bobby's turn, Jean used a Selesnya charm to make himself a 2/2 Knight with Vigilance. He then put a Gabney Township in a play on his turn, and then played a Silverblade Paladin and bonded it with his Knight. He attacked with the Knight, so Bobby just traded it with his Thragtusk and got a 3/3 Beast when it died. Then on Bobby's turn, he used his Tamiyo to tap down the Paladin this time. He then played a second Thragtusk, going up to 28 life. He then went back to 26 to put an Overgrown Tomb into play untapped, then he played a Farseek and found himself a Steam Vents. At the end of the turn, Jean played another Selesnya charm to get himself another Knight. When the Knight came into play, he bonded it with his Paladin again. He then attacked with the Knight along with his Smiter on his turn. Bobby chose to block the Smiter with his Thragtusk and the Knight with his Beast token. Before damage, Jean pumped all of his creatures with his Gabney Township. The Smiter killed the Thragtusk, leaving a Beast behind, and the Knight killed the other Beast with first strike. Bobby just activated Tamiyo on his turn to keep the Paladin tapped down again. Then Jean attacked with his Knight, sending it at Tamiyo. Bobby chump blocked with his Beast, however Jean used a third Selesnya charm to give his creature +2/+2 and trample. This forced through 7 damage to Tamiyo, dropping her to 1 loyalty. Bobby continued to keep the Paladin tapped down, but Jean was able to finish off the Tamiyo this time with his Knight. Bobby played a Jace Architect of Thought on his next turn and used his minus ability, revealing a Rakdos Key Rune, a Snapcaster Mage, and an Olivia Valdarin. Jean chose to put the Olivia in a pile of its own, so Bobby took the Rune and the Snapcaster. He then played the Mage and gave his Dreadbore flashback, which he used to kill the Paladin. Then he laid down a Drowned Catacomb before passing the turn. Jean played another Silverblade Paladin on his turn and bonded it with his Knight. He then put a Rancor on the Knight and attacked a Jace, killing him. Bobby overloaded Amizium Mortars on his next turn to do 4 damage to all of Jean's creatures, killing them both. The Rancor went back to Jean's hand, then Bobby played his Key Rune and attacked with his Snapcaster, taking Jean down to 18. Jean just played an Avacyn's Pilgrim on his next turn, and then Bobby activated his Key Rune and attacked with the Rune along with his Snapcaster again, taking Jean down to 13. Then post-combat, Bobby played another Farseek to get himself another Steam Vents. Jean played another Thalia on his turn and then used his Township to pump both of his creatures. He then attacked with his Pilgrim, taking Bobby to 24. Bobby used another Pillar of Flame on his turn to kill the Thalia, then activated his Key Rune and attacked again, taking Jean down to 8. For Jean's next turn, he played a Sigarda Host of Hirons. Bobby just played Draw Go, and then Jean put a Forest into play and played a second Pilgrim. He then used his Township to pump his team again, but chose to pass without attacking. Bobby played another Jace on his turn and revealed a Golgari Charm, a Woodland Cemetery, and a Drowned Catacomb this time. Jean put the charm by itself, which Bobby decided to take. Jean played another Thalia on his turn and then put a Rancor on his Avacyn's Pilgrim. He then attacked Jace with the Pilgrim, so Bobby activated his Key Rune and blocked with it. Before damage, Jean used his Township to pump his team again. This made his Pilgrim big enough to stay alive and trample through and kill the Jace. Bobby played another Farseek on his turn to find a Steam Vents again. He then used another Pillar of Flame to kill the Thalia once again. He attacked with his Sigarda and his Rancored Pilgrim on his turn and pumped it with his Township again. Bobby chose not to block and took the 15 damage, going down to 9 life. He didn't have any way to stop the attack for lethal on his next turn, so went ahead and scooped it up, giving Jean the win to the game and the match. So that's it for this match. I hope you all enjoyed it. You can find the full version of this gameplay and the annotations at the end, along with links to my vlog and my Let's Play Duels of the Planeswalkers 2013. If you like this or any other video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and possibly add it to your favorites, then subscribe to be notified when more videos are online.